YouTube chat.
Yeah.
We're calling it Barber Talk. What should we call it?
Barber talk.
Barber Talk. The Australian Barber Talk. No, we're going to call it Barber Talk. Barber Chat.
We'll figure it out.
We'll have to come up with a name. So yeah, tell us about your most challenging thing in when you first started in barbering. What was one of the most challenging things that you overcame?
Actually, it's a weird question because I have a question for that.
Okay.
What do you mean about skills?
Yes.
Or the challenging that the
Skills.
career
Skills.
about the skills.
But tell us before you get into that, how did you get into barbering?
Like a few years ago, not a few years, like more than 10. It's not a few.
Yeah.
I started to enjoy fashion.
Yes.
And when I was like maybe 18, 19 something, I was very into the fashion, and it grows with me. So like my Instagram or the websites that I visit, always about fashion.
Yes.
But life is life. So we put other things in front and we try to do other stuffs. And then I moved to Australia.
Yep.
About one and a half year ago.
Yes.
And then at that moment I had to choose a course to do here. So I choose like, why not now? Maybe now is the time that I can invest my money in a kind of fashion.
Something creative.
Yeah. So that's why I choose barber, because it was like a thing that I used to do as like just for fun, you know. I used to cut my own hair, and some friends, my mom's hair.
Your mom's hair.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom's hair was like, she was my first real client.
Wow.
You know?
Did she pay you?
No, she's my mom. She wouldn't pay me even now that I'm a professional, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a year and a half ago, you decided that you're going to take up this course to do barbering because you were interested in fashion and whatnot. But before then, you outside of your friends or your mom, you hadn't really done any.
No. And the friends was usually just maybe a buzz cut. Or
so you had clippers.
Yeah. One clipper. Yeah.
One clipper. Okay. But like a super cheap one.
Super cheap one. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the brand?
Actually, no. Maybe Philips. Maybe.
Okay.
Just maybe.
But in comparison, like now that you're in Australia, if I was going to go buy that clipper that you started cutting with, where would I have to go to buy that? Which type of shop? Would I go to a barber supply store, or would I go to...
Go to Temu.
Temu.
Like, I know that Philips, it's a good brand, but not
Yes.
for like clippers and stuff.
Yes.
They have some, yeah. But yeah, you can find like very similar on Temu. And
Wow.
maybe Amazon, yeah.
And then you eventually got some professional tools.
Oh, yeah. After I started the course, yeah.
And did you feel that the professional tools helped you cut a little bit better, or what are your thoughts on tools?
It's a huge difference between the tools that you have. When I started, some people said to me like, "Oh, you need better tools," and I always answer, "I need to be better to get better tools first.
I agree
need to
with that,
like
yes.
learn at least the standard stuff." So I've learned with like bad tools or like regular tools, maybe
Okay
bad,
tools,
maybe,
yes.
yeah, okay tools. And then when I realized that I was doing very well with those, all right, now is the time to buy some good tools.
And when you bought those good tools, did you find that it was a little bit easier to cut, or did you find that you were quicker? Tell us about that when you got the new tools.
Everything. So you can get faster, you can do things that you couldn't do with your tools. Like for example, when I've changed, I think the first change that I did was the clippers.
Okay.
And when I've changed, it was like a huge difference actually. When I went to fade, when I went to blade, the power at the clipper cuts the hair, so
Game over.
game over. Yeah.
With the new trimmer, you can do better lineups, and you can do...
And I like with my oldest one, I couldn't do tracks. Now I can do tracks.
Oh, you can do a little design on the back of someone's neck or on the side. Oh, that's cool. But do you think, my question is for you now that you have the good tools, do you think that buying more expensive tools will help you do a much more better haircut or a better job from where you are now?
Yes and no at the same time. I know they will help me a lot with some maybe some tiny details that I want to get better. But at the same time, I feel that if you have like good tools, you're good, you don't have to have the amazing tools or
keep replacing them
Yeah.
You should replace them, of course. They're tools. You know,
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
barbers and we
Exactly.
love tools and we want to try things.
same as shoes, you know.
Yeah, we love 'em,
every
you know?
year, maybe every 2 years, you have to buy new shoes.
Yeah, and you
So-
keep the old ones
yeah.
and you build up a collection.
Exactly.
But I'm a strong believer in that. You don't need every new tool that comes out of the market. You don't need to buy. You don't need to have 10 clippers this year and then buy another 10 next year. You do need to buy tools. I know that, but maybe, you know, like how we buy shoes. We buy shoes a few times a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If they are working,
They're good,
That's
right?
fine, yeah.
And you service them and you look after them. How do you look after your tools now that you have a good collection?
I clean it up every day, like
Yeah.
at least the basics one with the
And you travel with them, you know, sometimes you
Yeah.
take them home and things.
Yeah.
How do you...
and at least every maybe 20 haircuts, I put some oil on my clippers and my trimmers.
Yeah, so at least once a day sort of thing. You
Yeah.
disinfect after every haircut, but then oil once a day sort of thing.
Yeah, disinfected like every haircut, but
Mm-hmm.
the oil every 20 haircuts, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And when you travel, like when you pack your tool, do you put them in like their cases, or do you put little covers on them, or how do
Oh
you...
yeah, I have covers for my clippers and my trimmers.
Okay.
And like my backpack, it's for barbers. So I have
Okay.
some exactly places what I want
Yes.
to put, like the combs,
Yes.
the brush.
So you've got a barbering backpack
Okay.
specifically for those tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Before
cool.
that, I used to do with
You used
two
to
cases.
use a hard case,
Yeah,
didn't you?
two hard cases, two tiny ones.
Were they expensive to get, those cases?
Nah.
Super cheap.
Yeah, super cheap. Like maybe both were 25 for both.
Wow.
$25 Aussie dollars.
Wow.
So-
Okay. It's small investment to look
Small
after your
investment.
tools.
Yeah. My first, I remember the first investment that I did. Like when I started the course, we have to buy all the tools. But when I realized, okay, I'm gonna start to cut some hairs like outside school, I remember the first stuff that I bought was on Temu,
Oh yes.
a backpack,
Yes.
the two cases,
Yep.
one cape. Yeah, I don't know if I remember
Some
one,
combs.
but, yeah, one
Clips.
comb, the neck strap.
Oh yes. Neck
And yeah,
strips.
I
Yes.
know that I like with all those things, it was like maybe $52, you know.
Oh, amazing.
But it was just like, okay,
Yes.
now I can start. And then after that, not very often as I wish, but I keep changing.
And you keep adding to the kit,
yeah.
adding to the kit. So it doesn't happen all at once. Like even though you get that big kit at the beginning, you still find you want a better cape, or you want a
Yeah.
better comb, or
The
you
first
want
cape that I bought was
horrible.
horrible. The first client that I put
had
I
the
was
Louis
like,
Vuitton and the Gucci signs on it, and
was horrible.
oh, that's funny. Well, there's a Barber Expo coming up in May, in Queensland where we are. That's going to be, from what I hear, the biggest one in Australia. There's going to be lots of tools, lots of everything.
Yeah.
Are you going to be attending?
Oh, sure. It's a very good place to, of course, do the network that we usually do.
Yeah.
And
Will it be your first expo?
first expo.
Wow. Well, what are you looking forward to about going? What are you expecting when you go?
Little gifts. No, just
Little
kidding.
gifts.
Souvenirs.
maybe you know, some of the suppliers might give out samples. You might get some
Yeah.
beard
Yeah.
oil, some hair products, some face.
Actually is the first one just to see how the industry works. Like how is the behavior of people on this type of expo. If like I've been in very different expos,
Yes.
but not a barber expo.
Yes.
So it's more like to see like the behavior of everyone, how the sales work, the network that
What energy everyone's coming
Yeah.
with.
yeah. If it's like just a competition,
Yes.
ego,
Yes.
or if it's just like a community that's all together. So let's see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be good to give an update, record another video after the Barber Expo.
Yeah.
To get your opinion.
And I can show all the gifts that I...
Yes, that you received. There'll definitely be some suppliers there providing some sort of samples and things, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how the expo goes, because it's the people that are passionate about barbering that attend these expos. So you're getting people with the same energy like you, want to cut beautiful hair, want to go to expos to see what the latest tools are. There's lots of educators on stage. I'm not selling it to you. You just go there and see how it is, and then we can do another video.
Were you in the last year?
I went to the last expo. I was cutting for a hair product brand at the last expo called Larrikin. I got an amazing opportunity. It was one of my friend's brand. And I had a chair there, and we had the smallest stall, and we had these Larrikin products. And I was cutting hair, and the thing that was a little bit scary about it was there was barbers sitting in my chair to get their hair cut. I'm like, oh, are they going to be happy? But everyone was so lovely. I felt like a community vibe. It's going to be a lot bigger this year, but it was any time that I'm feeling like a little bit flat. I don't know if you've had that yet, because there will be times where you feel a little bit flat. I find that whenever I attend an expo or an education event or launch of a clipper, I just feel revitalized.
Motivating.
It's motivating to just see all the same people, because we can, like in the barbershop with us 4 barbers here, we can kind of it's just us, and then sometimes we don't see each other depending on the days that we're working, and we're just cutting hair day in, day out. You can get into a bit of a routine where it's a little bit mundane. But these events, I find you go and don't be quiet at the event, meet everyone, and you get inspired from that. Yeah.
Cool.
The last thing you want to go to these events and do is just sit in the corner and watch. Go out there, meet everyone, introduce yourself. Might be a good way to grow your Instagram support or your TikTok or whatever you're into. I love it. I think it's going to be a good thing.
Nice.
So once you are a master barber, so you are a master barber now. Once you're a master barber, what future education are you thinking about doing to increase your skills? Or is there something that you want to work towards later on after you become the...
I feel like I have my goals that I want to learn. Like, for example, from April, I'm going to start to learn some stuff about painting and dye hair.
Oh, amazing. That's cool. Very creative.
Yeah, and because it's very popular in Brazil. So you can find barbers who can bleach your hair. Like, it's very common.
And it would be harder there because they've got like dark hair, and thick hair. So it's
but it's very common. Like, you can easily find.
Yes, not so much here.
Exactly, that's why.
Okay.
That's why. And of course I have my goals as a standard barber. Like the haircuts that I want to do. And to be honest, we are always learning.
I agree.
Like, doesn't matter how good you are. If you are a teacher of 20,000 people, you learn with maybe, like the new barber that you hire.
It might be a social media thing. It might be a different light you need. It might be a different technique to... It's so true.
And sometimes you want to just change your technique. You try a new thing and you...
Just to keep fresh, keep yourself guessing. It's so true. I saw a video on YouTube. I still have YouTube playing in the background, even though I've been cutting for a while. When I'm cooking in the evenings, I've got hair cutting videos going on. And I saw a guy doing a beard. And the technique was just amazing. It was just going so quick through it. And I thought, you know what? I'm still learning too. I can take some of these things and cut through the beard that way with the cutthroat. And I tried it in the shop the next day. And I thought I did it okay. And it was exciting to do that. It made you feel like back in the day. So I agree. We're all learning all the time,
Yeah. And as we have friends, as a barber too, we teach each other. So.
Yeah, true. And did you find that your friends supported you when you started? I know that you had to make friends because you've only been here for a year and a half. But from the community that you made, did you find that they let you cut their hair?
Yeah. And I have some brave friends.
Yes,
who
of
let
course.
me cut, like,
and some who didn't
during
let
the
you cut
first
their
weeks,
hair.
yeah.
Wow. And were there some that didn't let you cut their hair?
Like the friend that I cut his hair today, he's with me like
from the
beginning.
Wow, that's amazing. And he might not be with you all the time, and even those ones that didn't let you cut their hair.
But I
That's
remember
okay too.
the first fade that I did on him. So
How was the first fade?
He was happy with that because he knew that I was starting.
Yes.
But now when I can compare photos and videos.
Wow. If he was happy with when you started, he is going to be over the moon now.
Yeah.
You have those few clients that will stick with you through the whole thing. Oh, that's amazing. It actually tells you the type of person you are if everybody supports you at the beginning, I feel. And if people are not supporting you, then maybe it's time to kind of look at what you're doing, who you are in the community. Goodness.
Yeah, it's important. Like, at least your friends, you know?
Yeah, and they don't have to support you all the time. I had friends that supported me at the beginning that are not getting their hair cut by me now, which is completely fine. You know, it's too far for them to drive. They've given away, maybe the price is too much. Whatever it is, it's all good. But having that support at the beginning from your friends and your family, I think really helps.
Yeah.
And it proves that you can do it even if you've just come to a city brand new, like you did.
Yeah.
How did you make friends when you came here and then ask them to cut their hair? What was that conversation like?
Yeah, like make new friends. I know I'm very...
Were you just approaching everyone that on the street?
No.
Would you like to be my friend?
To make new friends,
Yes.
it's I know that I'm very communicative.
Yes.
But it's another language and it's
different culture, different country.
It was a bit hard at the beginning, but when you have one,
yes,
you hold them.
Yeah.
Now you are my friend,
yes,
and I will need you soon. Talk to you later.
Yes.
And then, man, I need to do a haircut on you.
Yes. So is that how you said it? You're like, man, you're my friend. Can I please do a haircut on you?
Yeah, I asked it for like, can I please? Because like one friend of mine today, I cut his hair, but maybe for the first 3 or 4 times that I asked, he said no.
And that's completely fine. He just doesn't want you to jack his hair up.
And
I
then,
wouldn't let my new friend who just started barbering cut my hair either.
The 5th time, I said, no, now I'm good.
Yeah. Now I can cut.
I can do it. I can do it.
Well, that's so funny.
Yeah, it is funny. But I realized that I was doing well when I could go back to Brazil for 2 weeks and I could cut like my friend's hair, my mom's hair again.
And they were
my
impressed.
father's hair.
Yes, so amazing.
And I did a very good job there, so I was like, okay. Because when I was cutting here in Australia, every time, or most of the time, someone better than me was like with me.
Right.
Like when you were with me, Rafa.
Yes.
So most of the time you were with me. So when I went to Brazil, I was just by myself.
Yes. So you're just figuring it out, but you're comfortable because the language is the same. You're at home. It's your friends.
And
it's
exactly.
okay.
My family, I could speak.
Your family,
like,
yes.
I don't have to think to speak. So.
Yes, you don't have to translate and then try to build rapport and do the consultation. And
so it was easier, this part. So yeah.
I think that's a good thing, being there by yourself and then you're trying to figure out things and problem solve. And it's a little bit easy. That's the best way to learn compared to someone there standing there telling you, hey, do this, do that, do this. Because you just default.
The best way to learn is when you have a mistake, when you made a mistake.
Yeah. Your body is heating up.
But
you're like,
but you're just by yourself.
What do I do?
But you're just by yourself.
Yes.
So you have to figure it out how you're going to fix that.
Yeah. Do I drop the guards? Do I cut it like this? Do I...
Should I start again?
Yeah.
Should I tell the client now?
Can I turn the fan on? Should I turn the aircon a little bit lower?
Yeah.
Because I'm sweating. Those feelings get less and less and less. And sometimes I find even for me, I've got to put myself in positions where it's a little bit challenging to kind of get that. It's kind of how I motivate myself when I'm coming to
But
teach
you know what?
school.
I can be honest right now. I've been cutting for a while.
Yep.
And I've been working with you for a while.
Yes.
Sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I'm coming to the barbershop, I keep thinking I don't think I'll be able to do a haircut today.
Wow.
Like if some guy asked me for that, and when like sometimes it shows up exactly what I was
Yes.
thinking, and I do like easily.
Yes.
And it's just like, I don't know, maybe when I'm not doing, or we are very used to see and watch the videos on Instagram, on YouTube, and the guys are amazing. So sometimes we keep comparing us with them, and sometimes I came here like, oh, I don't know if I'm a good barber. And when I start like, okay,
Cutting.
yeah,
People are
it's
very
just-
happy.
Yeah.
Two things there. So the expectation that, the mindset that you have when you come into the shop, I think is super important. And I still work on that. So like I'm telling myself, hey, I'm going to be cutting quick today. Like I'm speeding up, I'm cutting quick, I'm getting through everyone. And I'm telling myself that time. And then I come in and I do that because I'm motivated to do it. The other thing is that you touched on is sometimes we set unrealistic expectations because we're barbers, and the advertising is so good on our feeds because all we're looking at is barber tools and haircuts and strawberry fades and reverse fades, and we're not looking at that, but those type of things, we're seeing these amazing picture perfect haircuts, and in your mind you're thinking, damn, I need to deliver that in the barbershop. But John Smith sitting in the barber chair, his feed is about videos of cutting lawns, time lapse of a lawn cut. It's not a haircut after haircut after haircut.
Yeah.
And when he sees our haircuts, John Smith is like, damn, that looks exactly like how that lawn cutting video was, but it's just my hair. He's 10 out of 10. So I think that's what social media does. But what social media has also done for us is it allows us to improve and learn technique so quickly. You can look at a video on waves in America. We're not getting waves here next to the beach, very rarely. I don't know if we've even ever got one. We do get afro style hair every now and again. But you can learn that technique from watching that video, which before you couldn't do, which I think is cool. But it's something we should manage as barbers, like the expectation in our mind. As long as it's a really fundamentally good haircut, that fade is looking, detailed, blurry, the client is super happy. I think it's all good.
Yeah.
So what's the next steps for you to get a little bit more clients? I know you've been, what has been your steps to get clients, firstly? What are some of the things you've done as a newer barber in the industry?
I already write down some, not cards, but like some
pamphlets. Printed some pamphlets out, yes? Old school.
I've done in my building.
Yeah, in your unit, just put them in the letter boxes and start a building.
No junk food. I'm not junk.
Yeah. Barber in the building, Bob.
Yeah, no junk.
That's cool.
And I was participating of a group.
Nice. Like a
network
networking.
group. Yeah.
That's good. Can be hard sometimes.
Yeah,
it's
important to go
get out
there.
in the community.
So and everyone that I met, and like I present myself as a barber, so it's one of the ways that I can do it.
Do you find the conversation is hard when you meet someone for the first time to tell them that you cut hair?
Yes. Not. I wish could be easier.
Why do you feel that that's a little bit hard for you?
Because it's more like about when people ask, oh, what do you do?
Yes.
And if I don't ask, like, what do you do? Rarely people ask me what I do.
Okay.
So sometimes I need to keep the conversation till I ask.
Yes.
And then they can just respond, what about you?
Yes,
say like,
that is one way. But it kind of feels like when you're asking people what they do for work, it's like almost a little bit judgmental in a social setting. Yeah. So it becomes awkward because then you're asking that person, what do you do? Because you want that person to ask you what you do. But then it might come off as like, why do you care what I do? I'm just cool,
And I
it's
feel
really
like
hard.
if I just present myself as like, hi, I'm Lucas, I'm a barber.
Yeah.
It's a lot like, if someone just came to me
and
said that, I would imagine like, do I need a haircut now?
Yes.
It's a bad haircut that I have
Yes.
now? Because
Yes.
why he's saying that to me?
Yes.
So that's why I don't do that. So.
Yeah, something to work on. I find it a little bit easier when I talk about the area that I work in. So for example, when I'm at swimming with my son and we're at the barbershop is obviously in Miami, and the swimming pool is in Miami, and I see one of the dads there and we get talking and I say, oh yeah, you know, this swimming is really good. I spend a lot of time in Miami because I just cut hair around the corner, you know, it's like that.
Okay.
Or they say to me, we just had a cyclone, as you know, here in Queensland. They say, oh, how was the power? I said, oh, we lost power for 4 days. And then the barbershop that I work at lost power for 4 days.
Okay.
Because I'm still interested in talking about the barbershop, but I kind of talk about the barbershop as opposed to, you know, oh, there's a really good organic supermarket in Miami that just opened up where I sometimes go and get a coffee if we're talking about coffee. And I really talk about the other businesses that are around the barbershop. Oh, there's a laundromat if you want to wash that dog bed. It's right next to the barbershop that I work at, if someone's asking me.
Okay.
So maybe that's something that might be a little bit easier. But yeah, definitely something to work on, you know, because it is weird if you're asking everyone, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? What do you do for Ask me. Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
But what I found is that when you do tell people what you do for work, and if you are a genuine nice person and you have the right intentions, then that person, although some people are going to want to support you. And it might not necessarily be that you be their full-time barber, but if their barber's away on holiday, skiing, whatever they're doing, then they know, oh, I feel like that. Anyway, we've already been on here for 30 minutes, Lucas.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. That went so quickly, right?
Yeah.
We'll leave part 2 for another day. Thank you. Thanks, Lucas.
See you, boys.